is 5 o'clock Pacific time, and it is a fight that it will be a 4-fight card. You have the main event at the top, and then you have 3 fantastic fights featuring rising stars, ascending Mexican fan favorites, unbeaten contenders, all in high stakes fights. In fact, tickets for this live event, which is promoted by Man Down Promotions, TBC Promotions, TGB Promotions, are available at AXS.com. Again, AXS.com. On this phenomenal undercard, you have Isak Pitbull Cruz. He will be taking on the unbeaten Giovanni Cabrera in a 12-round WBC WBA lightweight title eliminator. It will be the co-main event of the evening. And then you also have that Spanish contender, Sergio Garcia. He will be fighting in a 12-round WBC super lightweight title eliminator, and Sergio will be taking on the unbeaten Jesus Ramos, a young man who is just ascending at 154 pounds. You don't want to miss that fight. And then, of course, we got to begin the night with heavyweights. Everyone loves the heavyweights. And our first televised bout of the night will feature the unbeaten Gurgen Hovhannisyan. Unbeaten will be taking on the hard-hitting Viktor Faust. It will be one heck of a night of boxing at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. We're going to talk to all of these guys about their fights. We're going to give you, members of the media, the opportunity to ask all of these guys questions. All you have to do is hit the raise your hand icon at the bottom of the Zoom, and we'll allow you to ask those questions. But first, let's talk to these guys. And you know what? Let's start with the first bout of the night. Heavyweights, the unbeaten Gurgen Hovhannisyan. He is rising, ascending. This will be his 5th professional fight. Gurgen, great to have you on. If you would, from members of the media who are listening, give us an update, how training is going, and your thoughts on fighting on what could be the fight of the decade.
Ուրեմն ասա ինչ բարապունքներդ ոնց են ընթանում եւ ինչ ֆայթի օրը ինչ սպասելիքներ կարանք տեսնենք։
Մարզումներս լավ են, շատ ուրախ եմ առաջի հերթին որ show time-ով եմ box անելու, առաջի անգամ է։
My training goes really well. I'm very happy that I'm going to be the opening bout on a Showtime pay-per-view. We're training really hard for this fight.
Yeah.
What else?
Box-ը շատ ես լավ box եմ սպասում, որովհետև ես Faust-ին երկար ժամանակ գիտեմ։
He says that he knows Viktor Faust for a long time from the amateurs, that he was looking up to him, and he knows him really well, and he's really preparing to put on a really good show.
Fantastic.
Love show է լինելու, հաստատ։
He's very sure that he's going to perform.
Pay-per-view բացում ես եմ անելու, հաստատ լավ box եմ անելու, որ նայեն բոլորը։
He says I'm going to be the opening bout for the pay-per-view, and I'm training really hard, and I'm going to do really well to do an excellent performance.
Love it. I love it. All right, Gurgen, let me ask you a little bit about this fight. I guess, what does it mean to you to have just your 5th professional fight on such a big stage on what many consider could be the fight of the decade, Spence and Crawford?
Yeah, combination նշանակություն ունի այս fight-ը, այս մեծ քայլը, opening bout Spence Crawford-ի վերջի 10 տարվա ամենամեծ շոնա բոքսնա, որ դրա undercard-ի տակ գտնվում ես։
Շատ մեծ պատիվ է, ավելի լավ եմ պատրաստում, որովհետև ուզում եմ հեսը հետ չմնամ այդ fight-ից, ես էլ լավ fight ցույց տամ, որովհետև շատ լավ fight է, իմ համար այս fight-ը իրոք երևի 10 տարվա ամենալավ fight-երից մեկն է։
He agrees. I totally agree of the fight of the decade, and just because of that, it's a big thing, big step up. A lot of people gonna look at my performance, so I'm willing to show just as good as you know. It's very important to me to be on this card, and so he's very excited and happy that he's on the card.
No, I was going to say, Viktor Faust was quoted as saying that he's been in the ring, talking about Viktor. He said he's been in the ring with elite class fighters. Considering that this is Gurgen's just 5th pro fight, I think he's taking this step up too soon. What is Gurgen's response to that?
Faust ասում է, որ ինքը ավելի շատ է ռինգում փորձ ունի, քո քայլը շատ մեծ է, քո պատասխանը ինչ է Վիկտորին, որ sense մեծ քայլի ես գնացել։
Բոքսը շատ մտքի խաղ է, այդ փորձը սպարինգներով է կարող ես հավաքես լավ
boxing is a more of a mind game, and his experience is picked up in doing a lot of gym work and sparring, and it's
5 fight ու 11 fight-ը դուղի թվեր են։
He says only doing my 5th fight or his 11th fight, it's only a number to me. So boxing is a mind game, and I'm prepared for it. I'm going to deliver an excellent show.
All right. So Gurgen, let me ask you, this is just your 5th professional bout. You have knocked out everybody you faced. Will this be your 5th win and your 5th knockout on July 29th?
4 fight է սարը, 4-ն էլ knockout է սարը, այս 5-րդն էլ լինելու knockout, որ ինչ է կարծիքդ։
Չեմ սիրում ժամանակից շուտ խոսալ։
I don't like
չեմ գնում հենց knockout-ի, ես գնում եմ սիրում box անելու։
I don't want to talk the beginning. I will show whatever comes to me. I'm not going to go for the knockout. If it comes, it comes. I'm just going to do a beautiful boxing to perform. If it comes to me, great.
Gurgen Hovhannisyan, 4-0, 4 knockouts, taking on Viktor Faust. Viktor Faust, by the way, 11-1. He's got 7 knockouts. I know there's members of the media. Got some questions for you. So for that, let's turn it over to Andrew Roberts. He's with Swanson Communications. He'll allow members of the media to ask Gurgen some questions.
Thanks very much, Brian. Appreciate it. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please hit the raise hand icon at the bottom of the screen. Our first question is going to come from James Bell with the Boxing Source. James, you can unmute yourself and please ask your question.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Gurgen, given that this is your 5th fight, but also this is scheduled for 10 rounds, your first 10-round bout, what have you been doing in order to kind of like prepare for that type of a fight for what is scheduled for 10 rounds, especially against a hard puncher like Viktor Faust?
Առաջի 10 ռաունդանոց ֆայթն անելու ինչ ես արել պատրաստես 10 ռաունդ գնաս։
Բարոնքներս ավելի շատ ենք ծանրացրել, Ջոն գիտի ոնց բարավեցնի, ոնց անի, կողքից Ջոն է կանգնած։
Says next to me I have a very experienced coach, Joe Gurgen, that has a lot of experience, and he puts me into tough training and lots of sparring. And we do a lot more work at the gym, so I'm really prepared. We do a lot more than 10 rounds of training, and so his preparation to go on 10 rounds is ready.
Gotcha. Now, given that you're having these fights where it seems like you're rising very fast in the heavyweight division, do you think that is kind of like the pace that you like to have to, go up the rankings really quickly? Or do you feel like maybe you want to see what happens within each fight and then go from there?
Շատ արագ ես բարձրանում, ինչի համար, ինչն է պատճառը, որ տենց մեծ քայլ ես գնում, թե ուզում ես փորձություն անցնես, տեսնես ինչ կլինի։
Բոլոր բոքսերները տարբեր են, մեկին ժամանակ է պետք որ ինքը ռինգում կայանա, իսկ ես մտածում եմ որ պետք չի սպասել տարիներ, 10 ոյ, 15 ոյ, ավելի լավ է ժամանակին կատարել։ Պատրաստ ես այսօր կպնելու Ֆաուստի հետ, պետք է գտնես Faust-ի հետ։
He says it depends on the different fighters feeling when they're ready or they're not ready. It doesn't matter if you have 5 fights or 15 fights for me. If I have to face an opponent like Viktor, I think I'm ready. I'm going to take it. If somebody else comes better than Viktor, if our team feels that we're ready, we're going to take the fight. We're not going to wait and waste time, and we're going to go test the waters.
All right, got it. Thank you, Gurgen.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, James. Our next question is going to come from Jamil Parker with YSM Sports Media. Jamil, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Hey, Gurgen, how's it going? You said you're used to watch Viktor in the amateurs and you're familiar with him. Is there anything that you saw back then, like any weaknesses or tendencies that you feel like you can capitalize on in this upcoming fight?
Վիկտորին, որ լուբիցելուն տեսել ես իր թույլ կողմերը կամ առավելությունները, ինչ այսօր գնալու ես ֆայթում, ինչով կմոտի, ինչ կանես, էլի, ասենք անցյալում որ իրան տեսել ես, ճանաչում ես, օգուտ տվել է քեզ, չի տվել։
Ինքը բոքս է անում, կարևորը իր այդ հետաքրքիր բոքս կլինի, որովհետև ես սիրում եմ, որ իմ դիմացինը բոքսեր է լինում, հենց բոքս է անում, ավելի հետաքրքիր է, ավելի մաքուր է լինում ամեն ինչ, իր այդ ավելի լավ է լինելու հաստատ։
Yeah, he thinks that from what he's seen with Viktor in amateurs and in the past, that he's boxing, he's more of a boxer, and I think with the boxer I'm going to do a better fight because it will be more beautiful because of the amateur background and the experience that I see in him, and I have that too, and the fight's gonna look much better, in my opinion, because we're both boxers.
Okay. Viktor's coming off of a TKO loss in the 8th round of his last bout. You've knocked out everybody you've been in the ring with. Does that give you any extra confidence heading into this fight?
Ավելորդ քեզի Վիկտորը որ գրվել է վերջի ֆայթը նոկաուտով քեզի ավելի առավելությունով ես ազգում քեզ գնալու։
No, չէ, ավելի առավելություն չէ, որովհետև բոլորս է տեսանք որ վնասվածքի պատճառով կանգնող ֆայթ է, դրա համար դրանց է ժամանակի անց է պատրաստ է որ այս ֆայթը ընդունել է։ Դրա համար ես կապնելու նրա հետ 100%։
He says I'm going to fight Viktor with my 100% against what he can deliver. He took on this fight because he knows he's ready. We all saw that he got injured on the fight. He was doing really well, and because of the injury, the fight was stopped. And I don't doubt anything. And then time passed, and he prepared for this fight. He's confident. He's ready to take on me on this fight. So I'm not doubting anything. But with his preparedness coming to this fight.
Last question, Gurgen. Do you think Viktor can take your power?
Կարծում ես Վիկտորը կարա քո դարը վերցնի։
Ես շատ ուժեղ չեմ։
He doesn't think he's powerful enough.
Okay, thanks, Gurgen. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jamil. And that's it for our media questions for Gurgen. With that, I'll turn it back over to Brian Custer.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, Gurgen. Again, that's the first fight of the night. Gurgen Hovhannisyan, unbeaten 4-0, 4 knockouts, taking on Viktor Faust, 11-1 with 7 knockouts. Again, Viktor, by the way, full disclosure, is having some travel plans right now. So that's the only reason why Viktor is not with us as he's traveling over from Europe to come here to the States. Now we get to our second fight of the night, televised fight, 154 pounds. You want to talk about one of the rising stars at 154 pounds. The unbeaten Jesus Ramos, 20-0. He's got 16 knockouts, taking on Sergio Garcia, 34-2. He's got 14 knockouts. This should be one heck of a fight. Sergio, I guess I'll start with you. I know Martin Bader is here. If you could let the people know how's training been going, and give us your thoughts on taking on Jesus Ramos on July 29th.
Sergio, ¿cómo va tu preparación, tu entrenamiento? ¿Dónde estás y qué opinas de Jesús Ramos como rival?
Me estoy preparando en Reino Unido desde hace 7 meses. Empecé aquí con un nuevo entrenador y empecé mi campamento ya hace un tiempo y sobre mi rival, nada, como a todos mis rivales les respeto, ¿no? Considero que va a ser una pelea con un rival que tiene muchas ganas, que es más joven que yo, y yo voy a tener más experiencia que él y estoy seguro que él va a darlo todo y yo me estoy preparando para eso, claro.
I'm training in the UK right now. I've been with a new trainer, and it's been 7 months now in camp, training really hard. And as far as my opponent, as Jesus goes, I know that he is younger than me, that he's really hungry, and that he's going to give it his all. But the edge I have over him is that I'm more experienced, and I plan to take full advantage of that when it comes to July 29th.
And now, Jesus Ramos. He's unbeaten. You want to talk about a rising star. All right, Jesus, you know the deal. Let the people know your thoughts on taking on Sergio Garcia and having this opportunity to be doing it on pay-per-view on what could be, the fight of the decade.
Yeah, man, it's a huge opportunity for me. I'm very blessed and I'm happy to be here. I'm working extremely hard. I know Sergio Garcia is a tough opponent and he always comes to fight. I know I'm not going to have to look for him. He's going to be there fighting, the whole 12 rounds. And I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be an exciting fight and an exciting night of boxing overall.
Yes. Listen, I'm curious because you're in the division that is so talented. 154, so many talented fighters. It is so deep. Obviously, you have the undisputed champ at the top in Jermell Charlo. You got guys right there at waiting for that opportunity in Tim Tszyu, who's looked amazing in his fights. You get a victory. Where do you think Jesus Ramos is? Where does he rank in the 154-pound division?
I think with the victory over Sergio Garcia, the top 5, at least top 10, of the division, I feel like I've been fighting tough guys and beating them and looking impressive against them. But I want to earn my shot, more than anything. I want to earn everything. I want to earn my title shot. I want to earn it, I don't want nothing given to me. So these are the fights I have to take. Sergio Garcia is a tough fighter. He's a veteran. And I just have to make sure I have a strong preparation and beat him in an impressive fashion. Kind of like Tim Tszyu with Ocampo. He looked a lot better than Fundora with Ocampo. That made a statement. That's kind of the goal here.
Love it. Sergio, I guess the first question is, tell me about why the trainer change, and especially going into such a big fight against Jesus Ramos. Why the change in trainer, and do you think that will benefit you coming into such a big fight?
¿Qué te hizo querer cambiar de entrenador, especialmente de cara a una pelea tan importante como esta? ¿Y cómo sentís que eso te influyó en tu preparación? ¿Qué tal con tu nuevo entrenador?
La verdad que estoy muy contento. Ya hemos hecho una pelea juntos. Y no me he cambiado de entrenador porque vaya a pelear con Jesus Ramos, sino por otro tipo de circunstancias. Esto ha sido ya hace 7 meses y con mi nuevo entrenador me entiendo muy bien. Estamos continuamente en campamento en Reino Unido y entrenando por y para ello y para dar un buen espectáculo. Yo soy consciente de que esta es mi tercera oportunidad y si se me escapa seguramente no tenga más oportunidades de televisión en Estados Unidos. Y por eso me preparo, por eso y por y para mi familia.
Look, I've been feeling great with my trainer for the past 7 months. In fact, we have had a fight together already, and the chemistry is outstanding. But this goes beyond having the trainer. This is about me having a third chance to fight in the United States. And I know that if I let it pass by me, then that might be it. I may not get another chance. So I have to win, not just for myself, but for my family as well.
Sergio, listen, Jesus basically said this is an important fight for him. And when he looked at the 154-pound division, he felt like he needs to have an important statement against you, kind of like what Tim Tszyu did against Ocampo. Tell me your motivation going into this fight.
Acá Jesús decía que su motivación es lucirse de una manera similar a la de Tszyu contra Ocampo. ¿Qué hizo Tszyu contra Ocampo? Demostró que era superior a lo que Fundora pudo hacer contra Ocampo. En su caso, él quiere demostrar que es superior a lo que Fundora hizo contra vos. ¿Cuál es tu objetivo en esta pelea? ¿Qué te gustaría demostrar?
Yo lo único que tengo que demostrar es mi trabajo de día a día. Lógicamente, él quiere lucirse, él quiere meterse en las grandes ligas, es lógico, y yo tengo que ir a hacer mi trabajo. Yo he demostrado que tengo coraje y pundonor, pero ahora tengo que demostrar que también tengo boxeo para pelear en estas ligas.
All I have to show is the fruits of my labor day to day. That's the most important thing. I totally get the fact that Jesus wants to show up, show out, make it to quote unquote the big leagues of the division, right? But in my case, all I have to do is be able to go inside the ring, execute what I did in the gym, and then I have already shown that I have courage, that I'm brave, that I'm tough. Now I have to show that I can box as well.
Jesus, listen, you have stopped 7 of the last 10 opponents that you have faced. On July 29th, will we be saying he's now stopped 8 of the last 11 opponents he's faced?
That's obviously the goal, but I feel like I'm a more mature fighter now. I don't look for the knockout, I don't even put that pressure on myself, that I'm gonna knock him out by 5th or stuff like that. I'm just gonna go out there and perform, man. And just do what I do best. Just like he said, we work hard every day, and I just have to go out and demonstrate that. So if the knockout comes, I'll gladly take it.
Sergio, when you talk about the 2 big step-up fights, especially here in America, that you've had, Fundora, Harrison, you've come up a little short. How do you get a win against Ramos, who is younger, stronger, and a guy that's got knockout power compared to those other guys that you took the loss to?
Las 2 ocasiones en las que perdiste acá en Estados Unidos fue contra oponentes un poco distintos a Jesús. Jesús es más joven, tiene más fuerza, más poder, tiene más capacidad de knockout que los otros 2. ¿Cómo pensás afrontarlo? ¿Cuáles son tus claves para la victoria?
No te lo voy a decir aquí, ¿no? Porque está él ahí para escucharlo. Estoy entrenando para él, como él está entrenando para mí. Él me está viendo a mí en vídeos, yo le estoy viendo a él, lógicamente. Yo tengo mi táctica, mi boxeo y estoy seguro que él tendrá el suyo. Nosotros, cada uno tenemos nuestra manera de boxear. Y cada uno tiene sus handicaps, yo creo, ¿no?
We each have our strengths and weaknesses, but you think I'm gonna give you the keys to my victory here with Jesus watching? Oh hell no, I'm not gonna do that. But in this case, I can guarantee you that I have him well studied, and I have been following him. I respect him, and I'm sure that he has been studying me as well. It's gonna be a great fight, that's for sure.
Love it. Jesus, we'll wrap it up with this. For the people who get opportunity to see you take on Sergio, what can you guarantee that they're going to get when they tune in on July 29th and see you step into the ring?
I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Like I said, he's a fighter that comes forward. He's going to be there all night, and that makes for an entertaining fight, and that's the kind of fight I like too. I'll box, but I can brawl, and I like that too. So I think it'll be a really good fight. And the whole card overall, we got great fighters all around the whole night.
Fantastic. This is the second fight of the night at 154 pounds. I know there are members of the media want to ask you guys some questions. So Andrew, I'll turn it over to you so members of the media can ask their questions.
Thank you, Brian. Our first media questions for Jesus and Sergio are going to come from Jose Romero with Arizona Republic. Jose, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions. Jose, can you hear us? All right. Well, we will move on to Abraham Gonzalez. Abraham Gonzalez from Fansided. Please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
All right. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Hope you are well. My first question is for Jesus. You've mentioned to me in the past on interviews that one of the fights where you put a lot of pressure on yourself to kind of have a great performance. How do you not put that type of pressure on yourself in future fights? Now that you realize that mistake and it led to not such a great performance from you at that moment. Like what did you do to make the adjustment mentally so that you won't run into that again, especially in July?
Well, I think us as fighters, we grow with each fight. We mature a little after each fight, and that's kind of what happened in that fight. I matured. I was able to acknowledge my mistakes, my feelings, how I was feeling, everything that happened that night, and I just had to go back to a drawing board and fix that. I think it was more something mental. Something that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself mentally. And it didn't work out like that. For my last fight with Spencer, I went in there clear-headed. I just had to go out there and perform and do what I had done in the gym for the past 8 weeks. And that's going to be the same situation here. Just go out there and show what I've been working on.
Yeah. And one more question for you. Do you feel, and I know that, you're a humble guy, and you're not out there, talking smack and stuff. Does it bother you just a little bit that at 154, when they mention people that are, contenders for the title, they don't mention you, and you're ranked number 7 in the Ring magazine and ranked, right around there with the other titles. But they, everyone keeps overlooking you. Does that get under your skin just a little bit?
It doesn't get under my skin. It motivates me. Like I said, I kind of want to earn it, so if they're not considering me, at the top of the division, it's because I haven't earned it, and they're just gonna keep working hard. I think that's the beauty of it. A lot of people thought that my last fight was a 50-50 fight, and I showed out and I showed that it wasn't the case, and I just have to continue doing that. A lot of people maybe don't feel like I'm up there yet, but they will, man. They will soon. I'm working hard and it's just motivating.
All right. And then, Martín, tengo una pregunta para Sergio.
Oye, dale, no me puedes a mí preguntar a él.
Sergio, ¿cómo está? Quería preguntarte, tú tienes la experiencia de peleando los peleadores que han tenido un título mundial, y tú ahora vas a pelear contra Jesus. ¿Cómo se siente entrando en esta pelea sabiendo que tú tienes tanta experiencia peleando con gente en ese nivel?
How do you feel knowing that you have had previous experience now fighting in the United States, and that now against Jesus, perhaps you are more cunning and more aware of what you have to do to prevail in the US? Adelante, Sergio.
Te escucho entrecortado. ¿Me puedes repetir rápido, Martín?
No, que sí, que la pregunta, Abraham, él te escuchó entrecortado. ¿Podrías repetir la pregunta, por favor?
Sí, no, estaba preguntando si con la experiencia que tú has tenido con campeones que ha aguantado el título mundial como Harrison y también con Fundura, esa experiencia entrando a esta pelea contra Jesus Ramos, si puede hablar un poquito de esa experiencia y sabiendo que tú has estado tú has peleado contra gente en ese nivel.
Sí, como tú dices, he tenido 2 peleas con gente experimentada, ¿no? Y cada uno tiene sus virtudes. La pelea con Fundora, pues fue una pelea más igualada. Y la pelea con Harrison, la verdad que tuve coraje, punto honor, fui a por él, pero no entré en pelea, no supimos corregirlo. Y eso es lo que te da la experiencia, ¿no? Eso y las peleas que tenemos ya y eso es un grado que nosotros tenemos que él todavía quizás no tiene, que tendrá otras cosas y vamos también a aprovechar eso.
It certainly is a factor because I may possess some tools that Jesus doesn't have. In the fight against Harrison that you mentioned, it was really not my best outing out there. I was brave, I was courageous for sure, tough, yes, but was I in the fight? No. Then against Fundora, it was a more even fight. I certainly felt that it could have gone either way. So now against Jesus, I plan to employ that experience in order to finally come out on top.
All right. Thank you, Abraham. I know he's there, so let's try one more time for Jose Romero with the Arizona Republic. Jose, please try unmuting yourself one more time.
Okay, you guys hear me all right?
There we go. We got you. Yes, please ask your questions, Jose.
All right. Hey, Jesus, good to see you again, man. Hey, man, what works for you? Just fighting sort of step by step, instead of maybe going after fights with who people might call bigger name opponents. I mean, why does this approach that you're taking work for you that well?
I think it's the perfect way to earn the title shot because I'm seeing different styles. I'm in there with different styles with different caliber of guys, and they're teaching me different stuff. And that way, when that opportunity comes, I'm gonna see it all. There's nothing that they're gonna do in that ring that I haven't seen, and that's gonna help me, I believe, in once that moment comes. So it's important for me, to just fight these guys, these veterans that know things, like he said, that know things that maybe I don't just yet. And yeah, man, it's part of the growing process.
Okay, my follow-up question is, what led you to take this fight? Only 4 months removed from your last one, and I mean, was part of it just having the chance to be on a card like this?
Yeah, man, it was a huge opportunity. After last year, I only had 2 fights, and that was a goal for this year. Have more fights, and the opportunity came, and especially on a big card like this, it was huge. And I was on it. I wanted it as soon as they gave me the call, and I'm just happy to be here. Part of another big card, and it's an exciting night of boxing.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Our next questions come from Shava Rodriguez with ESPN Knockout. Shava, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Ok, muchísimas gracias. Thank you, Andrew. Un poquito en español y ya que Martín nos ayude a traducir. Primero, quería saludarles, mi querido Sergio, para ti primero. ¿Cuáles son las principales diferencias, Sergio, de entrenar o de haber entrenado muchos años con Viktor y ahora tratar de hacerlo diferente con Ángel? ¿Dónde reside el verdadero cambio de tu campamento estos últimos 7 meses?
El verdadero cambio es que mi anterior entrenador se retiró y tuve que cambiar de entrenador y la mejoría que tengo en Reino Unido es los sparring.
Esa puede ser la clave al final del día.
Yeah, I want to translate. So, Chava's question was about what's the biggest difference between having trained under Viktor's tutelage and now the new trainer for Sergio Garcia is none other than Angel Fernandez. So, what has been the biggest difference for him? And Sergio was saying that the only true difference is that my previous trainer retired, so I moved on to a new trainer, and we have been able to do everything that we needed and more. I would say probably the biggest difference, sparrings, and like the caliber of sparring sessions that I've had. But as far as each trainer, they've all been good to me.
Y como te escuché hace rato diciendo que probablemente esta sea tu última gran oportunidad, ¿no? De acceder a ese campeonato del mundo que sí has soñado. ¿Cómo lo enfocas para tratar de que no se convierta en una presión en contra, no se convierta en un efecto negativo?
No tengo ningún tipo de presión yo. Yo ya tengo una carrera labrada, no tengo ningún tipo de presión. No es fácil ir a Estados Unidos, no es fácil repetir en Estados Unidos y lo que menos fácil es ir 3 veces a Estados Unidos siendo español. Yo no tengo ningún tipo de presión. Él es joven, él lleva una carrera en proyección inmaculada con sus caos, su buena trayectoria. Él quizás tenga más presión que yo, Jesús. Yo voy a hacer mi trabajo. Como te he dicho en las otras 2 peleas, he demostrado que no pierdo la cara y que no rechazo rival. Y en esta pelea tengo que demostrar que sé boxear. Y eso es a lo que me tengo que dedicar en esta pelea. No tengo ningún tipo de presión por nada, en verdad.
The question was about the fact that Sergio mentioned how this may be his last opportunity to really set himself apart and continuing on his world title quest in the US. Does that add pressure to what's going to be this important fight for him? And Sergio was saying that pressure. No, it doesn't add any pressure to me. If anything, it's Jesus as the young up-and-coming fighter with the well-crafted career path that's gonna have the pressure on his shoulders. To me, I already have achieved a lot of things in my career, a very accomplished career already, and I'm well aware of the fact that to come to the US and fight 3 times is an achievement on its own as a Spaniard. To come once is an achievement. To come 3 times, it's really something that I'm very proud of. So I don't feel any pressure. What I'm gonna repeat is that I do have to show how that I can fight. I have shown already. I don't turn away from brawling or from going after my opponents. Now it's time to show people that I can be a quality elite boxer.
Y mi pregunta, muchísimas gracias, Martín. Y mi pregunta para Jesús Alejandro Ramos es: ¿crees que la victoria o esta pelea ante Sergio García va a ser el golpe definitivo? Porque Fundora le ganó y fue por campeonato del mundo. Tony Harrison le ganó, fue campeonato del mundo. Entonces quiere decir que enfrentarse y vencer a Sergio García, pues es síntoma de que está listo para ir por campeonato del mundo, pues.
Sí, claro que sí.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Adelante, Martín.
No, por favor.
Siento que sí, obviamente es un rival con mucha experiencia, y ya ha peleado por campeonatos, como dice usted. Sería otro escalón más en mi carrera, y que me estoy preparando, ¿no? para esa oportunidad, y creo que Sergio García es un buen rival, tiene bastantes cualidades de las cuales puedo aprender mucho, y con esa mentalidad voy a subir al ring, preparado para aprender.
The question was about whether there's a trend going on here, because Tony Harrison fought Sergio Garcia, went on to fight for a world championship. Fundora, ditto. So does Jesus feel that maybe this is the final key for him to be able to go after that world title? And Jesus was saying that Sergio is certainly a quality opponent, but I'm doing things at my own pace, and taking the opportunity to learn from each fight. And this is gonna be no different. I'm gonna go out there, do my thing, and take away the most valuable lessons I can in order to keep going after what I want, which is the world title.
Y por último, Jesús, ¿ves que en este 2023 pudiera darse incluso la pelea de campeonato del mundo? ¿O estás tranquilo y si llega en este y si llega en el otro, estás pensando en grande, pues? O sea, no pensando en que Charlo a lo mejor pelee con Su o a lo mejor se vaya de la división.
Sí, sí, claro. Pues ahorita tengo un rival con Sergio Garcia, tengo un compromiso, ¿no? El 29 de julio. Y ese es mi mayor enfoque ahorita. Estoy enfocado en ganarle a él, en verme espectacular. Y ya lo del campeonato, pues se va viendo, ¿no? Yo creo que ahorita Charlo tiene, pues, el compromiso con Team Su. Vamos a ver cómo le va y a ver qué hace. Ahorita tiene todos los cintos. Estamos esperando a ver qué hace él. Y pues por mientras nosotros, como le digo, nos vamos a seguir preparando, aprendiendo y mejorando cada vez.
Ok, gracias.
The question
Gracias.
was about Jesus's plans for his not so distant future. Is the world title in his sights, like a fight for the world title in 2023, or does he really not care about a certain day? And if it comes in 2024, so be it. So Jesus was saying that first of all, Sergio Garcia is the opponent on July 29th. Not about to overlook that at all. Now, what Charlo does with his own thing, having to fight Sue whenever that is, that's his deal. He holds all the belts. I'm well aware of that. So in the meantime, I'm gonna focus on what I'm doing. Like I mentioned before, keep on learning, keep on growing, and then if Charlo does or doesn't leave the division, then that's not my concern. I'm focusing on myself.
Great. Thanks so much, Martin. And thanks for Jesus and Sergio. Let's now go back to Brian for the co-feature. Andrew's having some IT issues, Brian, so I'll be helping out with the media.
Okay, Mitch, thank you very much. Okay, so now we get to the co-main event of the evening, right before Spence and Crawford enter the ring. And this should be one heck of a fight. You've got the always exciting, the very powerful Eastside Pitbull Cruz, 24-2-1. He's got 17 knockouts, taking on the unbeaten Giovanni Cabrera, who is 21-0. He's got 7 knockouts. Isak, we'll start with you. Let people know how training has been going and give me your thoughts on being the co-main event under Spence and Crawford on what could be the biggest fight that we've seen in a decade.
Isaac, estás en la cartelera de lo que podría ser la pelea de la década. Y no solo eso es el evento coestelar. Entonces, contanos 2 cosas. Primero, cómo te va en el entrenamiento para esta gran cita. Y segundo, ¿qué te genera el ser el evento coestelar de esta mega, super, hiper pelea?
Estamos trabajando en un campamento muy duro, no es la excepción el que estamos realizando. Estamos trabajando en sus fortalezas y en sus debilidades de Giovanni Cabrera. Y bueno, me siento muy contento para ser parte de esta gran pelea, una gran pelea que va a quedar marcada para la historia del boxeo. Y bueno, gracias a mi trabajo, a mi esfuerzo, pues estamos peleando ya en grandes carteleras.
I am training hard as always, zeroing in on Giovanni Cabrera's strengths and weaknesses, and ready to go for it all. As far as being part of the co-main event, it's a great honor. I feel privileged to be part of a card and a fight that's gonna be forever remembered in boxing lore. So it's really great to be able to be part of that story.
Fantastic. All right, Giovanni, same question to you. Let us know your thoughts on facing Isak Pitbull Cruz, and especially on such a big stage on July 29th.
Oh man, I'm very happy to be here. I finally arrived at the stage that I've wanted to be at my entire career. Isak Pitbull Cruz, you know, he's a great, tough Mexican fighter. You know, I'm first generation Mexican here in this country as well, and it's going to be fireworks, man. As far as, you know, being on this historic fight, it's reminiscent of something from the 80s, like Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. So I'm just proud to be part of it. I know I think we might steal the show, man. I think our fight's going to be fireworks, and I'm ready to give my best performance yet.
Listen, you know, nothing has come easy for you, Giovanni. You've knocked out and knocked off, I should say, 7 unbeaten fighters. When it comes to Isaac Pitbull Cruz, where does he rank among the opponents that you faced?
I believe he's the best opponent I faced. He's the strongest willed. He's got a lot of fire, and I'm gonna meet that fire with my own.
Love it. Isaac, listen, you're coming off 2 dynamic knockouts. People have certainly fallen in love with your fighting style and your power. What are you planning to bring on the 29th of July?
La gente está ciertamente enamorada de tu estilo de pelea, de tu fuerza, de la manera en que has podido noquear a tus oponentes más recientes. ¿Qué tenés pensado traer al ring durante el 29 de julio?
No, pues darle un gran espectáculo a la gente de Nevada y pues lo que tenga que durar la pelea, ya sea un round, ya sean los 12, yo me estoy preparando para lo que tenga que durar y para toda la pelea.
My plan is to go out there and put on a show for the entire state of Nevada and the people watching on TV. I'll be ready. 1 round, 2 rounds, however long it may last. It's going to be a great fight by me.
Giovanni, let me ask you this. Do you think and do you believe a win over Isaac Cruz puts you in that elite class when we talk about the 135-pound division?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Pitbull Cruz got, his position and all the value from having such a close fight with Gervonta Davis. If he's going to get that merit for that, then me defeating him convincingly should place me at the top of the boxing world. I've been in the ring with some of the best. I've shared the ring with Manny Pacquiao, Pitbull's promoter. If I could dance with the Pac-Man, I certainly can with a Pitbull. So I'm ready.
I love it. I love it. Isaac, listen, Giovanni believes a win over you puts him in that elite class. What do you think a win over Cabrera does for you? And is it your goal to get a rematch with Tank Davis?
Cabrera dice, bueno, si te gano, voy a formar parte de la élite de las 135 libras. Si a vos te dieron ese crédito de pelear bien contra Gervonta, si yo te gano convincentemente, por supuesto que formaría parte de la élite. Pero en tu caso, ¿qué sería lo que lográs ganándole a Cabrera? ¿Y acaso es tu objetivo el conseguir una revancha con Gervonta Davis? Isaac, ¿me escuchás? ¿Está bien?
¿Me puedes repetir la pregunta? Se cortó un poquito.
Por supuesto, ¿no? De que Giovanni Cabrera decía que si te gana, él se consideraría boxeador de élite en la 135, tal y como a vos tienen ese crédito por haber peleado bien contra Gervonta. Ahora, ¿qué significaría para vos ganar la Cabrera? Y además, si tu objetivo es tener una revancha contra Gervonta Davis a corto o largo plazo.
Pues mi primer punto es dar un gran espectáculo el próximo 29 de julio, ganarle a como dé lugar a Giovanni Cabrera. Sabemos que también está preparando física y mentalmente, y bueno, pues yo voy a seguir preparándome y cerrándole las puertas para que no tenga escapatoria Gervonta Davis para darme una revancha, porque pues creo que no fue una derrota muy convincente hacia con él, y bueno, yo voy a seguir demostrando que Isaac el Pitbull Cruz está en la mejor de las 135 libras.
Like I said before, I'm gonna put on a show against Cabrera, and it's gonna be part of my effort to close every single door that Gervonta Davis has available, so he can't escape, so he can't go anywhere, and he's gonna have to face me once again, because I have to prove that Isaac Cruz is the best at 135.
Love it. Love it. Giovanni, my last question. Listen, for those people who are going to pay their hard-earned money, come out to T-Mobile Arena, buy the pay-per-view. What can you guarantee they're going to get when you step in the ring with Isaac Cruz?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to say, Arriba León, Guanajuato. Arriba Chicago, all my people in Chicago, all my people down this road, Woodridge, everybody, I love you. I promise you that we're gonna leave Mexican boxing and American boxing on a pedestal, on its highest form, and you're gonna see two warriors go at it, and it's befitting of the great event, the big stage that we're on, And yeah, man, let's fucking go.
Okay. Isak, same question to you. For those people who are going to pay their hard-earned money, buy the pay-per-view, come out to Las Vegas and buy their tickets, what can you guarantee that they're going to get when they see Isak Cruz get in the ring with Giovanni Cabrera?
Ya dijiste que vas a dar espectáculo, Isaac. Ahora, ¿qué le puedes garantizar a la gente que va a estar en el T-Mobile Arena de Las Vegas y que va a estar pagando por el pay-per-view durante tu pelea?
No, pues demostrar una vez más y reiterar que por qué soy un perro, ¿no? Del hecho de que tengo hambre de triunfo, de victorias y de que no soy un peleador de redes sociales, que soy un verdadero peleador y un verdadero guerrero mexicano.
I'm going to show everybody that I'm not just a quote-unquote social media fighter like some others are, that I'm going to prove that I'm a dog, that I'm a warrior, that I'm a fighter, and that my ceiling isn't even close to being hit yet.
Love that. All right. I know there are people just chomping at the bit to talk to you guys. So let me bring in Mitch Abrahamson, of course, with Showtime Sports. And Mitch, let's let members of the media ask these guys some questions.
Great. Thanks so much, Brian. Okay, let's kick things off with Abe Gonzalez from Fansided. Abe, go ahead.
All right. The first question is for Giovanni. It's good afternoon. Looking at your box rec, your picture looks like you belong in Beverly Hills 90210, but that's another story. Activity matters, right? And you've had 3 fights in 2022. Do you see that as an advantage coming into this fight that you've had a busy 2022 coming into now 2023?
Absolutely. You know, it took me some time to get back in my prime form before the pandemic, before my long 2.5-year layoff. And I've been sparring the best at Wildcard. I've been sparring Raul Cugat. I've been sparring Elvis Rodriguez. A lot of strong welterweights, you know, and I'm keeping sharp. Iron sharpens iron, and Wildcard Boxing Gym is one of the best places in the world to do that. You know, everybody comes from all around. I also shared the ring with Manny Pacquiao, just giving me these notches in my mental to understand that I belong with the best, and I'm continuously going to prove that.
And you have a 5-inch height advantage. Have you ever dealt with someone shorter like that, and do you see that potentially being a little difficult in the beginning to deal with?
I've for about a year in like 2015 as an amateur, I spent some time boxing in Mexico, in León, Guanajuato, and I, made it to the National Olympic tournament they have there, got a bronze medal. So I believe that I've seen many, many examples of this style. I've fought short, strong, powerful Mexican fighters, and I've been able to outclass them.
All right. And then I have one question for Isak. Isak, ¿cómo estamos? Tengo una pregunta. Si entrando a esta pelea, yo sé que había muchos nombres que estaban tirando para que tú peleas y tú estabas esperando. Y ahora tú vas a pelear contra Giovanni. Este pelea, ¿tú crees que te va a hacer, cómo se dice, te va a mejorar yendo para posiblemente la pelea con Davis, la revancha en el próximo año, vamos a decir? ¿Tú crees que esta pelea va a ser el mejor para tu carrera a este momento para que tú puedas avanzar al próximo nivel?
Sí, totalmente. Creo que por algo va invicto, creo que por algo ha mantenido su carrera invicta. Giovanni es un peleador que igualmente respetamos y que pues por algo se ha mantenido hasta donde ha llegado, ¿no? Con 22 peleas ganadas, no porque sí lo ha logrado. Y bueno, nosotros nos estamos preparando pues para sacar adelante ese gran compromiso que tenemos y bueno, estamos muy contentos de pelear contra él.
We're really happy to fight against, well, actually, sorry, the question was about whether Isaac thinks that this fight is what he needs to get to the next level and to achieve what he wants to achieve, be it a rematch against Gervonta or whatever else, maybe a 135, considering a lot of names were thrown around. And look, the bottom line is that Isaac is really happy fighting against Giovanni. Giovanni is a quality fighter. He's undefeated for a reason, 22 wins, and there is no overlooking him. I'm gonna focus on him because he has earned this shot as well, and I'm looking forward to what's gonna be a great fight.
Great, thanks, Martin. Let's go next to Andrew Jones from Anscape. Andrew, go ahead.
Appreciate that, Andrew. Thanks for the time with that. Gentlemen, I want to ask you before your or after your exciting fight that you will have with each other, you are the lead in towards a major fight that could be one of the generation's biggest fights. So I want to ask you two personally, who do you think is going to win Spence Crawford? You first, Giovanni, and you, Isaac, if you want to give your take on that. Thank you.
I believe Terence Crawford, switches lefty and righty. He has, like great savage fighting instinct. I think Errol Spence is big and strong. He's patient. He's got great defense and great power. So for me, it could go either way. Honestly, I'm 50-50. I think if whoever's more defensively responsible will win. And I think maybe I'm leaning a little bit towards Spence.
Isaac, acá la pregunta es, ¿quién gana entre Spence y Crawford? Cabrera estaba remarcando que el que sea más responsable defensivamente va a ser el que va a ganar, pero para él 50 y 50, aunque se inclina un poco más para Spence. ¿Vos qué decís?
Pues yo también estoy 50-50, es una gran pelea que los dos están en su gran momento y bueno, pues yo creo que independientemente del ganador entre ellos, la gente va a ser la mayor ganadora y bueno, el que vaya mejor preparado, el que vaya mejor concentrado es el que se va a llevar todo.
I'm also saying that it's a 50-50 fight. If you ask me, the biggest winners of the night are gonna be the fans because they're gonna get to watch an amazing fight. Then as far as who may win, it depends on the details, concentration, being aware of details. Whoever does that best is going to come out on top.
Great, thanks for that. Let's now go back to Jose Romero with the Arizona Republic. Jose, go ahead. Jose, are you there? All right, let's go back to Jose later on. Let's go to James Bell from the Boxing Source. James, go ahead.
Hey, thanks. First question here is for Giovanni there. Given that, maybe a lot of people haven't really grasped, what you've been doing so far in your professional career, like how is it to kind of like be in this particular stage in a pay-per-view event against a contender like Isaac Cruz?
Man, it's a beautiful moment for me because, I like what Isaac said about, being a real boxer, not being just somebody, like the attraction of social media. I earned my spot here. I beat more undefeated fighters, than any prospect in the history of boxing. I mean, most people fought 15, 20 guys coming up to build their confidence. I time and time again put my record on the line early on against 7 undefeated opponents. Nobody's ever really done that in the history of boxing. And I believe it deserves some attention. I am here. I'm proud, man. I'm gonna display everything that I have on the line, show my talents. I have a long bag of tricks, man. And what a great stage to show that.
Gotcha. And this question for Isaac Cruz, given the past year and a half or so, your popularity has grown pretty much like, I would say, exponentially. I've seen you around and a lot of fans have been around you, whether it's for your fight or, when you're going to fights. How are you handling having that popularity wherever you go?
Isaac, tu popularidad, ascenso meteórico en ella durante los últimos 18 meses. ¿Cómo has lidiado con esta fama nueva que estás disfrutando?
Pues ha sido una motivación extra gracias al trabajo que hemos logrado, que hemos hecho, y que pues ha sido todo a base del sacrificio, de todos los duros campamentos que hemos obtenido y de las grandes peleas que hemos hecho. Entonces, pues es una motivación extra que me impulsa todavía a seguir dando y brindándole a todo el fanático del boxeo grandes y espectaculares contiendas.
It's an extra motivation for me. It motivates me even more to keep giving the fans spectacular fights that they're gonna continue to enjoy. The fact that the fans have embraced me like that fills me with joy, fills me with pride, and it's a fruit of the labor that I've had working at the gym so earnestly and so hard for so many years.
Great, thanks for that. Let's try Salvador Rodriguez from ESPN Knockout.
Sí, saludos. Giovanni, ¿cómo estás? Un placer saludarte. Felicidades, tremenda carrera y creo que esta es una gran oportunidad para ti. Platicaba ayer con Isaac Cruz y platicábamos de la peculiaridad de tu sobrenombre, de tu alias, y me decía, bueno, a ver si es tan cabrón, pues, como dicen. ¿Qué le respondes al respecto?
Pues la verdad, para mí Isaac Cruz es muy cabrón también y vamos a ver quién es el más cabrón en esa noche. No tengo nada más que decir sobre eso. Mi carrera dice que soy el cabrón y lo voy a demostrar el 29 de julio.
Well, Chava was talking with Isaac during an interview yesterday, and Isaac was saying about, they were talking about Giovanni's nickname, which is Cabron, which roughly translates to, Chava, correct me if I'm wrong, since I'm Argentinian, not Mexican, but it's kind of like a tough badass, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So then, so what does that so how does that translate to the ring, right? And what do you think? And then Giovanni was saying that Isaac Cruz is also very much of a cabron, that he's a tough badass, and that it's gonna be a really tough fight out there, and that he's looking forward to seeing who is the toughest of the two. Am I missing anything, Giovanni?
No, perfecto, man.
Oye, y te iba a preguntar, ¿hay algo que te cause respeto de Isaac Cruz, pensando en lo que decías de que ya hiciste sparring con Elvis Rodríguez, con el propio Manny Pacquiao? O sea, el poder no te causa ningún respeto. Lo que ha mostrado es el poder devastador de Isaac.
Pues la verdad, cómo uno actúa sobre el ring y el esfuerzo que da, y si es valiente y da todo lo que tiene en la pelea, siempre voy a respetar a alguien así. Él ha demostrado que hace eso en sus peleas y por eso tiene como el crecimiento de la popularidad y pues lo respeto.
The question was about Isaac Cruz's devastating power. What do you think about that? And Giovanni was saying, how can I not respect his power when he's so brave, so gutsy out there on the ring? It's not like something that comes around very, very often, and I tip my hat to the fact that he's willing to put himself out there for the fans, for himself, and really go after what he wants with that bravery.
Oye, y gracias Giovanni. Y para Isaac, es esto, él dice que ya ha probado muchos estilos, o bueno, que ya ha tenido la oportunidad de probarse con peleadores con tu estilo. ¿Tú crees que en realidad ya se enfrentó a alguien como tú en el pasado? ¿O que a alguien similar? ¿O simplemente va a tener una sorpresa enfrente este 29 de julio?
No. Espérate, un poquito para... perdón, sí, no. Adelante, Isaac.
No, creo que no es lo mismo hacer sparring con alguien similar, ayudarle en 1, 2, 3 en todo el campamento a un peleador, que ya enfrentarse pues en una pelea real con diferentes cualidades, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que ojalá vaya preparado para el estilo y bueno, nosotros vamos por todo.
The question was about whether Isaac believes that Giovanni has ever faced someone like him before. And Isaac was saying that there's a big difference between facing somebody in the gym 1, 2, or 3 times that may look like you and facing the real thing. He better be ready, because the real thing is a lot tougher than whatever kind of similar sparring sessions he may have had in the gym.
Muchas gracias a los dos y aprovechen esta gran oportunidad. Felicidades.
Great. Thanks so much. And that's going to conclude our media portion of today's call. Thanks to the fighters and the media. Great job. And I'm going to send it back to Brian.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? We'll just wrap it up with this really quick. Giovanni, I'll start with you. Give the people a last word. This media, give them a last word. July 29th, Showtime pay-per-view when you get in the ring with Isaac Cruz.
Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm ready, man. This is my time. I know you all got him picked, but the man is in trouble. I will be ready July 29th.
I love the confidence. Isaac Cruz, same thing. Final word, July 29th, when you step in the ring with the unbeaten Giovanni Cabrera. Give us a final word.
Te damos la última palabra, Isaac. ¿Qué le querés decir a la prensa y a la gente de cara a tu pelea con Giovanni Cabrera el 29 de julio?
Pues que estoy muy contento, estoy muy emocionado de ser parte de esta gran pelea, de esta gran noche, y que pues toda la gente que va a ir a pagar $1 para apreciar esta gran pelea, esta gran función, que yo lo voy a desquitar por cualquier medio de que lo vean, y muy agradecido con todas las muestras de apoyo y de cariño de toda la gente. Muchas gracias.
I'm so happy, I'm so excited to be a part of such an amazing card, of such an amazing fight. And I promise to every single fan that's going to spend even a single dollar coming to witness this card that it's going to be worth the price of admission. You're going to see a show, and I can't wait to see you all, to express my love and gratitude to all the fans out there.
That's fantastic. Hey, Martin, one last thing. Can you tell Isaac, he doesn't have to be so serious all the time. He can smile. It's okay. He can cut out a character at least once. There it is. I love it.
Isaac, dale, tienes que sonreír un poquito cada tanto, no seas tan serio. Así, relájate un poquito. Te estás jodiendo, obviamente.
I love it. I know he's a pit bull, but he can smile sometimes. It's okay. I love it. I can't wait to see those two fight. There you have it, folks. Listen, it all goes down July 29th. Showtime pay-per-view. This is going to be, fight of the era, fight of the decade. It's a super fight. Errol Spence Jr. taking on Terence Crawford for the undisputed welterweight title of the world. But this undercard is fantastic. You've got Isaac Pitbull Cruz taking on the unbeaten Giovanni Cabrera. That is the co-main that comes your way on Showtime pay-per-view on July 29th. And before that, you're going to see the 154-pound division. Another unbeaten fighter, Jesus Ramos, 20-0, 16 knockouts. He is a phenomenal young man climbing the ranks there at 154, taking on Sergio Garcia, who's 34-2. And then we begin the night with heavyweights. The unbeaten Gurgen Hovhannisyan, 4-0. All 4 victories have come by knockout, taking on Viktor Faust, who's 11-1 with 7 knockouts. Again, Showtime pay-per-view, July 29th. It all goes down at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. You can get your tickets. They are available through AXS.com. Again, AXS.com. I'm Brian Custer from Showtime Championship Boxing. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you July 29th.